Welcome everybody. My name is Jamie. I'll be your fitness professional today, and I'm gonna guide you through a 20-minute lower body mobility routine, focusing on opening up those hips, strengthening the joints and the ligaments in our lower bodies, okay? So we're gonna start off with the world's greatest stretch. So you're gonna come to the end of your mat, and we're gonna keep those legs nice and straight, and we're gonna walk it out into a high plank position. And from here, we're gonna bring that right foot to the right hand as close as you can get it, and then that right arm will reach up towards the ceiling, big open, and then we're gonna bring that right arm through the left side. And then we're gonna continue this for 1 minute on this side, okay? If this is a little bit too much of a stretch, you can feel free to drop that left knee there and just cycle through the opener in that position, okay? So keep going, whether that knee is on the ground or off. And then also, we're gonna bring the breath into it. So you're gonna inhale on the way up, and then exhale on the way down. Beautiful. We've got 15 more seconds on this side. Good. And we're gonna do 2 more times, and then we'll walk it all the way back up, planting that hand on the ground, into that standing position, and then repeating on the left side, okay? So nice little walkouts. Secure that plank position, bring that foot all the way to the hand, and then big reach up. Good. And if you only have to drop the knee on one side, that's okay. We have to embrace those imbalances and then work on them, okay? So if you have to drop that right knee, feel free. And then you're gonna bring that breath into it, okay? So we have 30 seconds here. Inhale, exhale up. You're really gonna feel kind of the hip flexor, the inner thigh there on that right leg start to stretch out a little bit, especially if you work from home, you're sitting at a desk, those muscles are gonna get very tight. So today we're just gonna focus on undoing a little bit of the tension that sitting all day has brought us in. Good, finish off your last one. Walk it back up to standing. And now we're gonna come to the middle of our mats. We're gonna go into a 90-90. So with your right leg forward, you're gonna bend it 90 degrees and take that left leg behind you. You're gonna flex both of those toes, and then you're just gonna sit it back. And if that left glute starts to cramp, that's an indicator that we're very tight, and that's good, okay? So if things like that happen, it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. So now we're evaluating parts of our body that need a little bit more attention. So my hands are behind my back here. And I want you to be mindful, if there's a space underneath your left glute in the floor, just kind of track that. We wanna see how it feels on the other side as well, okay? So from here now, I'm gonna crawl my hands forward, and I'm gonna lean over that right glute, okay? So if you're staying up here on the hands, that's okay. If we're able to come all the way down to the elbows, that's okay. We're gonna stay here. We're just gonna open up that hip. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then you'll slowly come up. And then the way that we're gonna get out of it is we're gonna just move our whole body over to the left side. I'll switch my whole body over so you're not looking at my back. And now your left leg is gonna be forward in front of you, okay? So left leg is forward, your right leg is back. And now assess, is that right glute on the ground? Do you have a little bit more range of motion, a little bit more mobility in that right side? Just pay attention to it. And then we're gonna lean forward over that left glute. And then bring the breath into it. Maybe you come down to the hands, maybe you stay up in a seated position. But if you sit all day, this is gonna feel really, really nice. Even if you don't sit all day. I don't, but it feels nice still. And we've got about 8 more seconds here. I want you to do one more big breath, and then come up to seated. And now we're gonna take our legs, we're gonna have them about hip width apart, and we're gonna test internal rotation, okay? So hands are behind the back. We're gonna bring the right knee in towards that right foot, seeing if we could tap the right knee on the ground without moving that left foot. And then we're gonna assess the other side. Good. And so the main thing here is we wanna keep the torso upright, and we're just seeing how tight it is in here. Good, you're just gonna go left to right, staying maybe half a second in each position here. Good work, everybody. About 20 seconds left here. And then feel free, if you want to stay in each position for a couple seconds, that's okay. Good, so if you just want to do like a 1, 2, and we got 9 more seconds here. Good, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So all of the work we just did is going to help us in this next move. So what you're going to do is you're going to come into a deep squat stance here, and your toes are rotating outwards. It's going to be pretty wide as well. And we're going to take our hands together, and we're going to press those knees out gently with those elbows, okay? You're going to stay here for 2 breaths. And I want your heels to stay on the ground here. So if you have to stay up here for those heels on the ground, that's okay, all right? Now, we're going to grab onto those toes. If you do any strength with me, you know I do this in my warm-up as well. We're going to tuck that chin under, straighten out the hamstrings, and then sit right back into that squat. Getting nice and deep. And this is going to allow you to get a little bit deeper every time. Good. There we go. Just standing it up as much as you can. Don't push. Don't push past pain. Just a little bit of discomfort is okay. And this will be our last one here. And then from here, we're going to plant that right hand down. And that right elbow is going to gently push out that right knee. And we're going to take that left hand up. We're going to do a big reach. Inhale. Exhale, come down. Plant the left hand on the ground. If it has to be a fist, that's okay. And then, big reach with the right. Maybe you just got an adjustment in your back, you're welcome. That's free chiropractic. And then up again on the left hand. And then we go back for that right hand. And if you have to take a break, you can come up to stand if you feel those quads are starting to really fire up. And then just come back down, meet us down here. Good, it's a lot on the quads right now. We've got about 20 more seconds. And I want you to feel the stretch in the lower back here, okay? Good, almost done. 7 seconds here. And the next one is not gonna feel good, but I promise it's worth it, okay? So now we're gonna bring both of those hands up. We're gonna slowly come to a standing position. Feel those hips start to fire up, and then we're gonna come back down. Good, up. Up. Woo, firing up. Good job, everybody. All the way up here. Good. I want you to alternate which arm is coming up first in this overhead squat, okay? And then really popping the torso out at the bottom, trying to stay nice and upright. And like I said, if you can only come to here with those heels on the ground, do the motion from here. Work in the range of motion that you have. Never push it. We never want to lift with ego. We never want to do mobility with ego. We all start somewhere. And this is you just putting a coin in that piggy bank every day. We just put a couple minutes into ourselves. All right, guys. All right, a little bit of a rest for those legs. We're gonna go into a downward dog now. So coming into this position, if you want to start from all fours, you can. We're gonna lift up into that downward dog, push the head through, and then we're just gonna rock it out a little bit. So we're gonna try to press those heels into the ground. We're gonna spend a little bit of time here. We're gonna stretch out those calves. Good job, everybody. And then you'll notice after we spend some time here, the heels will get a little bit closer to the ground every time. So it won't always feel this tight. The point is here, you just wanna loosen up a little bit by a little bit. We'll spend about 10 seconds here, 9 and 8. Good, 5, 4, 3, 2. And you're gonna stay in this position. This one might feel a little bit weird if you've never done it before. We're gonna press the feet into the ground and the hands, and we're gonna walk it forwards and backwards, just the length of the space that you have, trying to get those heels on the ground. So maybe you need to bring the feet a little bit closer to the hands for this. And don't worry, you're gonna look silly. Nobody's watching you. You're gonna look amazing when you get deep into those squats next time you're in the gym. Promise you that. Excellent work, keep going here. Fingers are straight, feet are straight. We'll spend about 10 more seconds here, going back and forth. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, guys, meet me in the middle here. We're gonna go into a big squat opener. So we're gonna start in that deep squat position. We're gonna have the feet nice and wide. We're gonna rotate inwards, curving the back, and then we're gonna exhale, lift up onto the toes, big reach open. Inhale, exhale. We're gonna spend a minute here. So hollow out that back, bring the hands in towards the wall behind you, and then exhale, lift up. Good. Like I said, if you ever need to take a break on any of this, please feel free. Excellent job here. Good. 15 more seconds. Reach up onto those toes. Feel the body be unstabilized, and then fight to keep yourself nice and straight. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, so now from everything that we just did, we're gonna start to add some elements to some certain movements. So we're gonna go for that 90-90 again. Bring that right leg forward. And now that we've opened up those hips, kind of given the glutes a little bit of tension to release, we're gonna flex those toes, and we're gonna keep that right leg in front of us. We're gonna lift up onto that right knee, and then open up that pelvis. Open up those hip flexors, and then come back down. And then reach up again, and then back down. Good, now at your own pace here. You don't have to follow me on the screen. We're gonna spend 2 minutes on each leg. So you're giving yourself time to get a little bit deeper into these movements. There's no rush. Maybe you just come up to here. Maybe you just use those pinkies on the ground and you just do little pushes and you work towards the range of motion where you can come fully up onto that knee. Good. And we do have just under a minute here on this leg. Feel the inside of that right leg start to open up. You might be cramping, like I said in the beginning. Make sure you have that water nice and close. Good, so inhale on your way down, and then exhale as you come up, and then slow on the way down. We have 30 more seconds here, so we're gonna do pauses at the top. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and then slow, 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 slow. Tap the butt on the ground, and then we'll come back up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and then slow, very slow, very slow, very slow. And then we'll do one more, okay? We're gonna come up onto the knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then take 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful, okay. We're gonna go onto that left side now. So now is where I want you to feel that assessment. Do you feel that those glutes are actually coming onto the ground a little bit more now that we spent some time on the hips? So now we're gonna do the same thing. So just assess how you feel in this movement. One thing I forgot to mention is when you come up, I want you to squeeze that back glute, okay? So we have that nice tension back there. Good, so you do want to feel engaged, even in the core here. There we go, good. So we take the first minute to go through reps, and then we'll take that last minute to kind of go with that tempo. Good, and noticing if you're getting a full lockout at the top or not, okay? So really try, remember how when we do that squat, we wanna imagine that there's a string at the top of our head pulling us to the ceiling. You wanna imagine that that string is still there, pulling you straight up, and we're into our last minute of this movement here, okay? So straight up. Nice work. Good, in about 20 seconds, we're gonna start to do those holds at the top, okay? I've already kind of started with about a 2-second hold at the top here. Beautiful work. I'm gonna scooch back on my mat because sometimes you end up on the other side of the room doing mobility. All right, and we're gonna hold at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then slow, 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 reset, and up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and slow. Nice work. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll do one more. We'll come all the way to the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And sitting it right back down. And now we're going to take those feet together. We've done a lot of openers for those hips. We're going to add another one here. So grab onto those hands, grab onto those feet. We're just going to sit here for about 45 seconds. I'm going to take you guys through something that you might not feel comfortable with. We never pay attention to our feet. So it's not just the hips, it's not just the glutes and the lower body. Our feet are our foundation. And sometimes our feet are so tight we don't notice. The shoes we wear are not optimal for our toes. So we're going to spend about another 10 seconds here, and then we're going to do some foot mobility. I'm not sure if you've ever done that before. It's my pleasure to take you through it for the first time. Okay, so what we're going to do there, if you're wearing shoes, I want you to take them off. If you're wearing shoes, go back to the beginning of the video, do everything again without your shoes on. It'll feel much different. So we're going to take that right foot, and we're going to start to pull those toes apart, okay? So you're just going to pull the big toe and the second toe apart, and you're not ripping your skin, but this is not going to feel comfortable if you've ever done this before, or if you've never done this before. It's a weird thing. We don't usually sit there and think about our feet. So we're going to rip all those toes apart and just bring them left to right, side to side, in circles, wherever they can go. You just want to add some motion into those feet now. Good, and we'll spend about 15 more seconds here. And if there's any part of this that feels really good and I'm rushing, pause it. Pause it, take your time. If you want to do 40 minutes, do 40 minutes with me. And then now's the fun part. So we're going to take that left hand. We're going to hold hands with our toes. So I'm going to stick all my fingers in between those toes. And then once you get in there, you're really going to take your right hand, you're going to shove them all the way down so that your fingers are all the way into those toes. And you're going to hold onto your foot, and now you and your foot are friends, okay? And we're going to do some big circles here. And you're kind of just holding on to the foot with your whole hand, and you're just twisting it around in circles. Good. And then this is not going to feel comfortable the first time, but if you give it a week, it will feel better, okay? So sometimes mobility is not fun in the beginning. Those are the times that you need it. That's a warning that your body needs a little bit more attention, okay? So we'll just go the opposite way for 10 seconds, and then we'll go on to that left foot here. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Okay, let's go on to that left foot. So same thing here. Let's rip those toes apart. You know what it is. This part actually starts to feel good once you do it enough. And then you might feel tingling in that right foot now that you've done that. You might feel a sensation that you haven't felt in those toes. Unless you use toe separators or you get pedicures, you're going to feel a little bit of that sensation of the toes just spreading apart and kind of going back into their natural state. And we'll spend about 15 more seconds just pulling the feet apart. Good. Breathe here too. Don't forget to do deep breaths even when you're working on your toes. And then now we're going to shake hands with our feet. So the right hand comes all the way into all those toes. Push down, and then don't rush this part. If this is really hurting, take time, take a minute. I just want you to make sure you get all the way in there. Good, and then you'll start to do those rotations. Good. There we go. This is gonna be something that you tell all your friends about. You're gonna be like, I did this girl's YouTube video, played with my feet for 5 minutes. Tell your friends, do it with your friends. It'll be amazing. You have a little party trick here. Let me open up your toes. All right, guys, so we have about 20 more seconds here. Just really doing big circles with that hand. Nice work. And then we'll be done in 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And that is our mobility for today, everybody. Now you can go sanitize your hands, wash your hands, whatever you have to do. Thank you so much for spending this 20 minutes with me working on your body. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.